the month. We were giving a little bit of time to make sure all of our recipients were able to arrive since we got out of pre-council mighty early, including our pastor to kick us off. But we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to have, well, I'm going to call one time, is Pastor Jacob Green in the building yet? All right, so we're going to start with an opening prayer to be led by Pastor Daryl Vining of Hebron Baptist Church, and we'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. We have Cadet First Lieutenant Joanna Montez with Houston County High School Air Force Junior ROTC with us today. So if everyone would please stand so we can be kicked off with prayer.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you today for allowing us once again to gather to discuss the business of our community. We thank you for allowing us to rise up, because our bed could have been a last stop for us. We thank you for allowing us to enjoy the changes in the weather and the scenery that we see. And we thank you for allowing us to be able to be a part of a wonderful municipality such as Warner Robins. Forgive us now of our sin and bless us as we forgive those who sin against us. Bless this time as we gather, as the mayor and council discuss the affairs and the business of our city, that we continue to grow forward, that we continue to grow productively, that we continue to be the international city that you called us to be. We thank you that you give them wisdom and discernment to execute all of the things that have to be done, and we thank you for every department head and every department that is represented here in the city. Thank you for all of our first responders and all of the folks who do the work that people often don't notice, but you notice and you see them. And so we thank you today, God, that we've gathered here. Help our hearts and minds be clear, and let our resolve be sure that we do and complete the work you sent us and assigned us to do right here in this place, in this time. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag in the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. And council, as we have started doing, we take a picture with the person who does the prayer for us, Pastor Vining, and also with the individual who leads us off in the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Pastor Vining, if you'll come up here, council is going to come down and meet you for a prayer, and then, for a picture, and then it'll be your turn next. Thank you. All right, I now officially call today's meeting to order. First, we'll start with an adoption of the agenda via motion.
Mayor, I move to adopt the agenda as written.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Lawrenson, seconded by Councilman Bibb. All in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Aye. Motion carries. Next, we're coming to the proclamations, awards, and presentations. As always, I didn't say this earlier, but there are QR codes on the rotunda where you can follow along with us in your smart device if you do not have a printed copy of today's agenda. So for proclamations, awards, and presentations, we do have a few items to cover today. We have 2 awards, 2 proclamations, and 2 presentations. So we're going to start with the Employee Service Awards. So if Ms. Melanie Beyer, our HR Director, will please go to the podium so we can start there.
Hi, good evening. We have 1 Employee Service Award this evening. It's with Captain Larry Warren, our Training and Safety Officer with the Warner Robins Fire Department with 30 years of service.
All right, now we have an award, and I think Ms. Kate Hogan is going to come up to assist us with this award, and I believe she will also be getting the mic. So please come forward, Ms. Hogan.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, and our esteemed guests this evening. There were a total of 7 establishments who spent their time and effort during the month of January to participate in the Houston County Coffee Crawl. 5 of those were incredible Warner Robins businesses. That includes the Woodlands, Cafe Vignette, Decadent Warner Robins, Between Friends Coffee Shop, and of course, Little Light Coffee Shop. Miss Sophia Smith made sure that our coffee crawl happened for a 2nd year in a row. We actually saw the number of visits from 2024 to 2025 increase for all 5 of those establishments. So just in recognition of her hard work and of those 5 businesses, wanted to recognize her this evening for the Houston County Coffee Crawl.
I'll make a little note about Little Light Coffee real quick before she exits. I told her thank you for the impact that she's made in the city of Warner Robins. She's going to be moving on due to military service to another location, but I told her don't stop. Make sure your impact continues in all the places that you touch, because we certainly will never forget what you've done for our city here in Warner Robins. I also want to note that this coffee crawl was so infectious in a positive way, because even the city of Perry recognized a business that's in Warner Robins for the coffee crawl. So it happened here, started by one of our businesses, but another city thought it proper to recognize the impact that she's done here in our city, which also, I think, kind of trickled over into that city a little bit too. So I just want to tell you, this is a big deal. And small ideas you may have may really and truly make big impact. So never hold back on an idea you may have. We want to hear it, we want to see it. So thank you again. Best wishes to you. All right, now I have two proclamations. The first one is in honor of Black History Month, and I don't think there's anyone here to accept this one. I think this is just a city one. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading the proclamation in honor of Black History Month, which is, of course, every February. Whereas Black History Month serves as an important time to celebrate the rich heritage, achievements, and contributions of African Americans in our nation and the world, highlighting their vital role in the shaping of our history. And whereas African Americans have played an integral part in the fields of education, arts, business, law, science, politics, civil rights, the list goes on, significantly advancing progress and justice in our society. And whereas the legacy of African American leaders, from historic figures like Madam C.J. Walker, Thurgood Marshall, and James Baldwin, to contemporary trailblazers, continues to inspire generations to stand up for equality, fairness, and human dignity. And whereas the history of African Americans is one of resilience, strength, and perseverance, overcoming systemic oppression to make transformative strides towards freedom, opportunity, and equality. And whereas Black History Month reminds us of the ongoing importance of inclusivity, respect, and understanding in our communities, encouraging us to reflect on the lessons of the past and commit to creating a more just and equitable future for all people, regardless of race or background. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed by myself and members of our City Council and the citizens of Warner Robins. We proclaim the month of February 2025 as Black History Month and encourage all residents to take part in recognizing the extraordinary impact of African Americans and the need for continued efforts towards equality, justice, and unity. Let's give it up for Black History Month. And as always, Black history is American history. Now we have a proclamation for Government Communicators Day, which is February the 21st. We're reading it today. I think the ones accepting this one will be the communicators here in Warner Robins, and I am going to put them on the spot. So the communicators, please go there so that I can read the proclamation to you. Yes, that includes you, and that includes you, and that includes, who else has taken these courses? Christy, thank you. All right. Government Communicators Day. Whereas the role of government communicators professions is to inform, educate, and engage their communities. And whereas robust communication in government creates trust and inspires residents to take action and be involved. And whereas government communications create relationships and calls to action, builds awareness and understanding through storytelling, engages and fosters engagement on civic issues, and uses all channels to include people in critical decisions. And whereas it is essential to have strong communications in government because it is a foundational element in living in a democracy where citizens have the freedom to make their voices heard. And whereas the City of Warner Robins is proud and has deep gratitude and recognition for government communicators, professionalism, dedication, hard work, commitment, enthusiasm, and the sacrifices that they make in their role. And now, therefore, I, Mayor of Warner Robins, on behalf of Council, do hereby proclaim February 21st, 2025, as Government Communicators Day in the city of Warner Robins, and encourage all residents to thank the members of the Marketing and Communications Department who have dedicated their careers to ensure City of Warner Robins has effective, impactful, and successful communication strategies that resonate and are relevant. So let's give it up for Government Communicators Day. All right, so now we have a presentation for our community core grants. As many of you all may recall, the City of Warner Robins vowed to deliver some of the ARPA grant that we received from the federal government to our community through a vehicle we call Community Core Grants. We did this in a way that we made sure the impact reached the largest number of individuals in our city. So today, we are so excited and proud to present the checks to the individuals who were recipients of the Community Core Grants. So council, you may as well get up from your seats because we have quite a bit of photos to take with all of the recipients this evening. So I'll wait for you all to get by the table and just camp out right there as we continue to present check after check to the recipients who are present here with us today. I was trying to signal. Okay. All right. So the first recipient is an organization who feeds, who provides meals to individuals across our city, and they are Meals on Wheels. So will individual here to accept the grant for Meals on Wheels, please come forward, and we would like to present this check to you for $50,000. All right, next up, this organization works with our young boys in the community through mentorship, leadership, and entrepreneurship, and many other things. It existed when I was a little girl, and I'm sure it existed prior to that, and that is the Central Georgia Council for Boy Scouts of America. If someone here to accept this award will please come forward. Go for it. And we are presenting to you a check of $85,000 so you can continue your mentorship throughout the community. Is it working? Okay. All right. Next up, we have an organization who performs many specialties throughout the country, in our case, throughout Middle Georgia. They do programs that help with literacy, for example, and this organization is no stranger to many of us as we support them with different campaigns that they do throughout the year. And that organization is United Way via their reading program for Read United. So will the individuals here to accept a grant given to United Way please come forward? And you can grab this, spread on out. So we are presenting you with a grant of $130,000 for Read United, so that we can have Read United in 2 elementary schools here in the city of Warner Robins. And we are so excited to finally have your program, which I know you all have been advocating for a while to get here in our schools. And council and I are so excited that we are the reason why it's coming this time. So thank you for your impact and congratulations. All right, next up, we have an organization who impacts individuals daily throughout the state, throughout Middle Georgia, via the way of providing meals. So will individuals here to accept an award by the accept an award for Middle Georgia Community Food Bank, please come forward. And we are presenting today a grant in the amount of $200,000 so that you can continue feeding the thousands right here in our community. All right. Next up is an organization who does, it's actually an agency that does so much throughout Georgia and in our community, helping individuals with many things like paying for property taxes, paying for their electric bills or gas bills, et cetera, feeding elderly, and that is the Community Action Agency. If anyone is here to accept this grant for Community Action Agency, please come forward. Oh, man. As long as you don't cash it, we won't be on the new front page of the paper for a negative thing. So they are not in attendance today, unfortunately, but we're still giving them the grant of $250,000 so they can continue the work that they do here in our city. Okay, and we continue. Next, we have a business, an organization, who is all about healthcare, building healthy communities in a number of ways. And that is First Choice Primary Care Clinic. If anyone is here to accept the grant, please come forward. And here they are. And we are giving a grant to First Choice Primary Care Clinic in the amount of $452,893 so they can continue the impact regarding health care to individuals who are insured and uninsured. And also they will be helping with serving individuals at our homeless shelter once it opens. So thank you so much for all you do, and I hope you find this grant to be of use. And next up, and this is the final one for the evening, this goes to an organization who provides shelter, housing to many people, not for temporary shelter, not for, bandages. I call bandages, meaning people who may be homeless and they get a place to stay for a night or two. This organization provides permanent housing to individuals who may not have otherwise been able to purchase their first home. And that is Habitat for Humanity, the Houston County Habitat for Humanity. Will you all please come forward so we can present a check for a grant in the amount of $807,500, which will serve as sponsoring at least 11 new homes here in the city of Warner Robins. Well, we do have one other, but it's not for community core grants. Thank you, Council, for supporting this effort. We committed to it together, and now we're seeing it through to the awards. So great job for each of you, and great job to all the organizations that we were able to help today. Next up, we have our final presentation, which goes to United Way Again, in the form of a check from money that the City of Warner Robins employees raised for their initiative. If United Way would please come forward again so that we can present your check. If you can. Before we present the check, I'm going to ask the individual that kind of is over this to come up and say a few words of how this comes about and how often you do it. Whoever that person is I don't know. Ken. Oh, Ken. That's our guy, our Ken. Come on up, Ken.
Nothing like being put on the spot. So I inherited this promotion in 2018 and simply tried to get everyone excited and involved. We do incentives every year, with the exception of 1 year. It has increased. This year was, well, technically last year in 24, it blew me away the amount that the city was actually raised. It didn't come because of me. It came because of the generosity of the employees. They benefited, and I think we had about 162 employees that gave, and they reaped the benefits, and we helped the community. All of the proceeds that we raise stay local, and that is a driving force for everybody. It supports our community, so we're thankful.
All right, and the amount that we were able to collect for this campaign term is $37,421. So congratulations. All right, now the fun part has concluded. Now it's time to get down to business. So, the very first item on our agenda that is numbered is the formal public comments. If there's anyone here who would like to make a comment, pose a question, or have a concern about one of the agenda items, that's going to be item number 1, 2, 3, or 4 only, you have an opportunity to go to the podium and make your thoughts known. Anything else you'd like to communicate about will be done once we conclude item number 1 through 4. So if anyone would like to speak on one of these item numbers only, you have your time at the podium for 3 minutes. Going once, going twice, the door is now closed. Now on to item number 2, which is a consent agenda to be discussed by Councilman Lawrenson.
Thank you, Mayor. I make a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes meeting minutes from the regular meeting, February 3rd, 2025, purchasing cover sheet with 7 items, and employee promotions.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Lawrenson, seconded by Councilman Bibb. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to acknowledge the following for being promoted within the city of Warner Robins. Matthew Chittenden, promoted from police officer to detective to be effective February 17th, 2025. Connor Millam, promoted from police officer to detective, be effective February 17th, 2025. Stuart Sabat, promoted from ground maintenance worker 1, Public Works Stormwater Department, to ground maintenance worker 2, Public Works Stormwater Department, to be effective February 17th, 2025. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Will the individuals who have received a promotion today, if you're here, please come forward so that we can properly congratulate you. And they are coming. Okay, and you all can take photos. Mr. Furman. That last name was Milam. So our apologies, Milam. It's printed properly on the check, so I think you'll be pleased. All right. So next up on the agenda, we have item number 3, which is a resolution for the fiscal year 26 fiscal agent for Houston County Family Connections, to be discussed by Councilman Holmes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have before me a motion to approve a resolution to authorize Mayor LaRonda W. Patrick to execute said contract with the Georgia Department of Human Services, designating the city of Warner Robins as physical agent for Houston County Family Connection Incorporated for fiscal year 2026. I move for the adoption.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilman Holmes, seconded by Councilman Lashley. Any discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 4 is a resolution for an IGA with Houston County Board of Education, to be discussed by Councilman Lashley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I make a motion to approve the resolution to authorize Mayor LaRonda W. Patrick to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the Houston County School District for the use of school facilities in conjunction with the city's Independence Day celebration on June 28, 2025.
I second that motion.
Motion by Councilman Lashley, seconded by Councilman Holmes. Any discussion? All right, so please note that for the Independence Day celebration this year, you heard the date discussed by Councilman Lashley will be June the 28th, just because of where the 4th of July falls. So it's in June, but it's still Independence Day for us. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Aye. Motion carries. We have now concluded our action items for today's agenda. Now it's time for citizen comments. If anyone would like to make any type of a comment, question, or have a concern, you will have 3 minutes on the podium there. Please be sure to state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes on the rotunda clock, and then it will beep when your time is concluded. Please note that neither I nor council can respond to you, but we are listening. The door is now open for citizen comments.
Minister Crumpton, 111 Sherwood. Benjamin Franklin wrote, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." When legal loopholes and rhetorical justifications lull the public into accepting the erosion of their rights, there can be no doubt that our country and community is undergoing a constitutional crisis. This crisis is at all of our doors, regardless of party affiliation, faith, race, economic status, or any other demographic title we choose to identify with. How it got here is due to a widespread ignorance or diminishment of the founding documents that our forebears gave us to keep a republic, which is now morphing into a dystopian fascist state before all our eyes. The Fourth Amendment is very clear. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Yet under the banner of public safety, our privacy, papers, and personal effects have been compromised by mass surveillance through the flock camera system that can track, trace, and database our comings and goings, and have entangled us in an AI system that triggers automated warrants without proper judicial oversight, violating due process. While this system's implementation may have had the best of intentions, it nevertheless is in contradiction to the Fourth Amendment and repugnant to the Constitution, and should be to all who swore an oath before the Most High to defend it. To make matters worse, this month our county and community once again welcomed Operation Rolling Thunder with its parade and a show of force through our streets to announce unlawful checkpoints and aggressive, warrantless stops and investigations at random of we the people, while under the guise of preventing accidents caused by drunk or distracted drivers, which may have reassured those less familiar with the Fourth Amendment's protections, but it remains an undeniable violation of our rights. I would again point you to the words of Benjamin Franklin on sacrificing liberty for safety, and add that public safety is no excuse for diminishing civil rights by any degree. And to do so during Black History Month is more of an insult to the injury, as our melanated brothers, sisters, and neighbors know all too well the cost of claiming their unalienable God-given rights more than most of us, as it is our marginalized communities that suffer the most from this sort of tyranny. You don't have to take my word for it. Just ask Mr. Law Dixon, whose rights were violated during Operation Rolling Thunder for safety and security's sake, with false allegations and charges under this endeavor in our city, forcing an apology from the Georgia State Patrol for their transgression of his rights. I urge this council to uphold the Constitution and reject any policy that undermines our rights under the color of law. The Bill of Rights is not a difficult read, and one does not require a law degree to understand it or apply it. The question is not whether these policies make us feel safer, but whether they keep us free. Thank you.
Thank you. I call him Daniel, but thank you so much. Will there be any others?
Good evening, City Council members. My name is Mona Lucia, and I live at 111 Sherwood, Warner Robins. And I'm here today to bring awareness on the devastating impact of the ICE detainments on families in our community. While the headlines often reduce these incidents to mere statistics, the truth is these are deeply human stories with real lasting consequences. I'd like to share the story of someone I know personally. Her name is Cassandra, a woman living here in Houston County, whose life was upended when ICE came to her door. Her family was enjoying a peaceful evening, trying to have dinner when they came for her ex-husband, citing issues with his citizenship. The arrest wasn't just an ordeal for him, it was a traumatic event for the entire family. Her 21-year-old son, who was autistic, was completely shaken. Her 12-year-old son was terrified as officers stormed their home, disrupting their lives in a way that no child should have to experience. To make matters worse, after the arrest, they would not even let her speak to him or see him, and it's been 3 weeks. He has very serious health issues that she is in charge of, and they are not working in coordination with her to make sure his health is okay. She's now trying to take care of her family. She has 5 kids. She has exhausted her savings and now has to move out due to this isolated incident. Can you imagine the lasting emotional scars his family carries? This is not just an isolated incident. These raids and detainments are tearing families apart, often without consideration of the mental, emotional, and physical harm inflicted on innocent bystanders, particularly the children. This is not just a policy issue. This is a human rights issue. The Hispanics are a big part of this county. They make up the backbone. As a community, we cannot stand idly by while families are traumatized in the name of immigration enforcement. We need humane solutions, one that respect the dignity of every individual and prioritize the well-being of our community as a whole. I urge this county and this council to stand with families like Cassandra's and push for greater accountability and reform. Our community deserves better. If anybody would like to help, I do have Cassandra's GoFundMe. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lucia.
Michael Jones, 6080 Lakeview Road. Good evening, Mayor, council members. Y'all know I've been a vocal and active supporter of this administration. I've highlighted the positive things you've done in the city because I believe in getting credit where it's due. And that's exactly why I have to hold you accountable when you overstep. And let's be clear, Rolling Thunder Protocol was not about public safety. It was an overreach and abuse of power and a blatant scare tactic meant to intimidate the people of this city into compliance. And that is not leadership, that is not governance, that is fear-mongering. We know crime is down, and we know there are better ways to invest in public safety, yet instead of supporting real solutions like community programs, better infrastructure, and economic opportunities, you double down on over-surveillance and intimidation tactics. Let's talk about Breckenridge. Over 30 police officers and squad cars strategically placed around a heavily Hispanic neighborhood. Y'all really thought we wouldn't notice the attempted ICE-style intimidation? You claim to be protecting citizens, yet you're extorting them with these tactics. And let's be real, you've been silent on the video that we have all seen. We know what happened, so tell me, why hasn't a single one of you addressed it? Since you claim this is about bad driving and public safety, I need real data. I want to see records of residents that show the increase in reckless driving is unique to Warner Robins and not Perry or Centerville, because as it stands, the justification for heat funding looks a whole lot like a way to expand policing and revenue generation rather than actual traffic safety. So here's a real way forward. If you want to make Warner Robins safer, you don't need Rolling Thunder. You can make Warner Robins more walkable and accessible because safer streets come from better sidewalks, street lighting, crosswalks, and bike lanes, and when people feel comfortable walking in their neighborhoods, that's when crime drops. And you could use heat funding to fix the streets and not over-police them. Because you claim traffic safety is an issue, you could use that grant money to improve traffic lights, fix dangerous intersections, because bad driving doesn't need more surveillance, it needs better infrastructure. And you could invest in the community programs and not fear tactics. If crime reduction is really the goal, then we do need to invest in job training, youth programs, and mental health support, and create economic opportunities in the very neighborhoods that you're targeting with this heavy police presence. And we could form a public safety oversight committee. We need an independent civilian-led committee to review operations like Rolling Thunder and ensure transparency and accountability. If y'all believe in these tactics, you shouldn't be afraid of oversight. So here's the deal. You have 72 hours to let me know when each one of you and the police chief will be coming on a controversial conversation to defend your position. I'm gonna give you a chance for accountability. If the goal is to make Warner Robins safer, the solutions are here. Community-driven, effective, and humane. But if the goal is to intimidate, surveil, and control, then Rolling Thunder is the path you'll stick with. The choice is yours, but know this, the community is watching, and we're ready to lead where you won't. We're done playing politics with people's lives, and no matter what, we will continue to demand levels of accountability and full transparency. So I'll see you soon. You know my name. You know where to find me. We can have that conversation, or we'll get the records, and we'll have it for you. Peace.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Will there be any others? Going once, going twice. The door is now closed. Thank you all for your comments and your concerns during your the citizen comments. Now it's time for council comments, and we're going to start on the post one side. So starting with Councilman Bibb, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. Heard the comments by the citizens loud and clear. Can't say I don't disagree with you on some aspects of that. I get where you're coming from. I do know when we as citizens step out of our door, we walk into the public. And when we walk into the public in this age, there's a cell phone and a camera everywhere you look. And if we use technology to make our city safer and to track crime, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. And we're not policing the community and just taking down people's tag numbers and surveillance people. That is used when crime is committed, not to surveil people. I want to make that very clear. I know that for a fact. I had a lot of those questions too. I think things could be done a lot better too in our community to feel like we're targeting certain people, because that is not true either. It's a hard fact when we sit up here sometimes and have to make a decision to police our community to do the right thing, because that's what we're talking about, all of us doing the right thing in our community. And it is our duties as councilman and mayor to make sure that our city is safe. Not just for one individual, but for 87,000 individuals that we live together in the community. So I can't say I don't disagree with you on some things, but some things I do disagree with you on, and I would love to have that conversation with you. Congratulations to Mr. Warren. 30 years is a big feat to stay on a job and to stay with the city of Warner Robins, and we want to congratulate you. I hope the diamond's real and not glass. I'm just saying. We had 3 people get promotions today. Congratulations to those that got promoted today. And there are great things going on with the city. We had a great meeting yesterday, and I want to acknowledge Mr. James Drinkard for leading that discussion in our city, along with every department head that was there. and put input into moving our city forward. I can't tell you, I believe I sat in a room with some of the most experienced and best people in the world in that room yesterday, and have the same vision to make 87,000 people's lives better every day that we come into Warner Robins and as we live in a community. And I think we're all on the same focus. We challenge each other, we push each other. We don't always agree, but that's okay. That's why we're all different people and we all got different inputs when it comes to that. And I want to thank the mayor for her great leadership. I can't tell you I can't even begin to express the leadership that has come from Miss LaRonda Patrick as our mayor. I have seen strides, and I have seen her grow. I've seen her push us, and I've seen us allowing her to us to push her, and to have great conversations. I've never had a bad conversation with the mayor in coming to an agreement and trying to solve what we can for our citizens in Warner Robins. Mayor, I can't express enough what it's been like as a city councilman to work up under your leadership. I fully support you, and you continue to do the good work that you're doing despite what people may say about you or what's coming up this year. You hold your head up and you keep moving forward, because I'm going to tell you what, your record speaks for itself.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Lawrenson.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate what Councilman Bibb said about our meeting yesterday and thank all those involved. Everybody knows how valuable a day off is. Yesterday was President's Day. It'd be normally a holiday for all those wonderful people that showed up and spent the entire day. It wasn't just an hour or two, it was the entire day. And I applaud them for putting the city and the citizens first and coming out and meeting with us on a day that they could have spent with their families. And I know how valuable time that is, and we appreciate Mayor Patrick and Mr. Drinkard and all that they do, and all of our department heads. We have the greatest people in the world working with us at the City of Warner Robins, and I'm so glad to be a part of the team. And Mayor, God bless you and all that you do, and we look forward to many more years together. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Lashley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Congratulations again to Larry. I guess Larry started here when he was 2, because I don't want to admit that we are both getting to the age where I've known Larry a long time, and he has done wonderful things with the fire department. And 30 years, again, I know I say it every time, but that tells you a lot about the city we have and the people that work here and the dedication we have. We give out a lot of these awards for long tenure, and I mean, when you're talking 5, 10, 15, 20, up to 30 years and more for some people, it's amazing. And it must tell you what we're doing over here is going in the right direction always, because these people wouldn't stick around that long if it wasn't. Echoing off of what they've said, and particularly what Charlie said, there are things that I disagree with on how things are handled. I don't think that when it comes to certain situations, that particularly with what a State of Georgia program or the GSP has rolling, that we have a whole lot of say in that matter. You know, there is a hierarchy to how things work. You've got local, state, then federal. We handle what we can, but we can't overstep what they tell us. Now, if what they're telling us is wrong, then we will stand up to them. And I understand the feelings that y'all have, and I've seen it in every neighborhood. It was all throughout my post, too. I think they actually had a higher catch rate for a lot of things over in my area. But I disagree with some of the tactics they took, but we've been reassured by our police department that we will be in control of what we're going to be doing in this area. And I look to them to be the leaders in that going forward. On a positive note, in the community, and you know this is my time of year for cheer, which seems like it's every time of year, but I want to tell y'all, there are 3 really good cheer gyms in this community that represent a lot of young ladies and men. Airborne, they competed out, I can't remember where they, in Chicago. So you got local people in Chicago competing, and they always do good. You have MGA, which is actually more located in Byron, but they have a lot of Warner Robins citizens on that team. And then Punch Front, where my kids go. But I have a recap of what we did this weekend just between the 2 gyms that are here representing all of these young ladies and young men that work their butts off. There were 27,000 plus athletes competing this weekend in Atlanta. And you can do the math on that all you want to, but looking at the total number of wins that we had, Punch Front had 2 national championships. My youngest daughter got her back-to-back jackets and rings coming to her. We had 1 second place. We had our young little teams, all of them did good. My older 2 daughters' team finished second by .008 points. That's heartbreaking, but amazing. They scored the highest out of anybody in that competition on day 2. MGA really brought it to it. 3 national champions, 2 second places, and 1 third place. This is all athletes in your middle Georgia. That's why we're Winter Robins, and we will always be Winter Robins because we go out and dominate everywhere we go. Looking forward to this year, a lot of excitement in the planning. There's going to be some very exciting things coming in the future of this community and what it looks like and what's going to be transpiring over the next couple of years because of the leadership of our mayor, everybody that works, all the department heads, all the employees, and this council that we have doing the job that we're doing. You're going to see changes in this community that are just going to blow your mind. We got a chance to tour the lab, the lab over at the, oh man, amazing opportunities for young people, old people, middle-aged people, all the people over there. I mean, it's just unreal what they've done and what that's going to be to this community. But it couldn't be there if we didn't have the leadership we have and the people that we have up here behind the desk, and those people out there in those offices making sure that we get everything done every day for you in a responsible manner. And that's what's going on up here. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Holmes.
Thank you, Mayor. Everything that has been said so far, I support it. I agree. I concur. We must say, and you've heard it so far, 1, 2, 3, you heard it 3 times, that some of the things, some of the action that took place and have taken place here in Warner Robins, we are not 100% behind it. It's a ladder, the hierarchy. But we have been assured by our people at the local level that we will not sit back and sit by and allow any harm to come before or upon any of our citizens. Keep in mind, in whatever you do, there are hierarchies. And where you fall in that hierarchy, you should better understand what's going on. We are not laid back, waiting and accepting any and everything that comes along. And we will not. This team here, and I say team, because we are a team, and we have a great leader, and I support that leader. I support our team members. We support each other. And as started out by Councilman Bibb, we don't all get along all of the time. We don't agree with each other all of the time. But we are able to disagree agreeably and continue to move on with what's best for the city of Warner Robins. Congratulations to all of those individuals that received awards, promotions, especially our 30-year man. 30 years, that's a long time, ladies and gentlemen. It's a long time. And we are proud of him. We thank him. And we thank all of you for what you do. And I, above all, thank each and every one of you for taking the time to come out to these meetings bi-weekly or weekly or whenever we have a meeting or you hear of a meeting being called. Most of you show up. And you are not afraid to talk to us. And we don't want you to be afraid to talk to us. I often tell people, they apologize. Don't apologize for bringing a problem to me. You tried to do it and didn't get it resolved, so you came to me. If I can't get it resolved, I know where to go next. And having said that, I think all of the department heads, you have been dynamic. Mr. Drinkett, you come on board. You're not new anymore. That newness is gone. But thanks for your leadership on yesterday in the retreat. It was one of the best ones I've been in. Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Curtis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, I am fully confident that Chief Edwards and Chief Fisher will deal with the Rolling Thunder accordingly. We have been reassured that that will be taken care of for the last time, as the last councilman that's gonna talk about it. Again, let me start off by saying Happy Black History Month. I hope everybody's having a great month. I hope everybody's going out learning something about African Americans and the things that they have contributed to not just the United States, but to this world. So please, again, I encourage everybody to go out, learn something new, and not just entertainment. Drinker, awesome job, great job. I was super excited. It was very informative and very productive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to all of the department heads that came out and supported the effort. Man, one of the things that came out of there that I'm super excited about, and I can't wait till everybody see them, are those concept plans for Commercial Circle. Yeah. Yes. Man, I just can't wait till y'all see them. I know that y'all gonna enjoy it. I know that y'all gonna support us. Kudos to our mayor, her magnificent leadership that helped get us to this point, to a point where, you know, so many past administrations have always talked about a downtown Warner Robins. When I was in high school, we talked about a downtown Warner Robins. But you see these men and women up here, they're making it happen. So kudos to each and every one of you all, and I truly appreciate and I love working with y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you to all the councilmen up here for your comments. And I'm going to go ahead and make my comments now too. About 15 minutes ago, we were given 72 hours to respond about a subject, and I'm going to do it in 5 minutes. The answer is, number one, Rolling Thunder did not belong to the City of Warner Robins or the City of Warner Robins Police Department. It belonged to the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. None of that includes City of Warner Robins as far as the owner. We have to conform to the higher governments. That's why it was here. We did not bring it, we did not run it, but it was on our turf, you are correct. And we do not agree with some of the things that were done. But again, everybody has a boss. Everybody has someone that outranks them. And we are outranked, unbeknownst to some, by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. And that is who owns Rolling Thunder. We did as we are required to do in the City of Warner Robins. That doesn't mean that the next time we will not have different rules, we will not have different requirements to make sure what you all saw does not occur again on the soil here in Warner Robins. And that is our mission. We make sure the record is completely clear. That did not belong to us. Number two, we had some comments by individuals who know my number. You all know me, you know my phone number. If you ever have a question about something like that major, that affects you and impacts you so negatively that you account to this government body right here, call me. Call me. If we're friends, we are friends till the end. And the end hasn't come yet. So you call me, and I will answer whatever question you have, good, bad, or indifferent. I will answer the questions because I need to make sure you are at peace with what decisions we make here as a body, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're not going to agree every time, and that's totally fine. Friends don't agree all the time. Families don't agree all the time. Mother and son, father and daughter, spouses don't always agree, and that should be no love lost. But call me next time if you have my number, because you all do. Number three, when it comes to our criminal surveillance cameras, it is exactly as described, criminal surveillance. We only go and pull the footage if we are asked. with proper cause that a crime has occurred in a location in which a camera will pick up. That is the only time we check. So we pull the camera if you guys tell us to. If you don't say nothing, we don't pull the camera. So we're not sitting there watching people's moves. I don't want anybody watching how I move, do you? How about you? How about y'all? We don't want that. How about you, Chief? You want people watching it? Nope, we don't. So we agree with you, but that's not what our cameras do. They do run the whole time, but we are people of integrity. We make sure we follow the rules, processes, and procedures to utilize our flock camera system and any other AI-related pro-policing mechanism we choose to use in the city of Warner Robins. So it may feel uncomfortable, but I'm telling you, we don't pull it unless we're asked. And if that were not true, then we would know every crime, every bad act that occurred on our city grounds before anybody ever reports it. And we don't, because we don't have time to look at these cameras unless you tell us to look. Now, if you tell us to look, we're gonna look. But just have comfort in your heart to know that we don't intend to violate anybody unless somebody has violated you, okay? So, with that, my friends, call me, okay? Don't block me on your social media. We're friends to the end, and I'm not going anywhere. So take it or leave it. We're friends, and we can disagree. We disagree sometimes, too. Call me. Okay, with that, I think I'm done with my comments for today.
Mayor.
Oh, we have a demo coming up tomorrow at 1 p.m. So make sure you all come out and see that. And Councilman Bibb, you have something to say.
So we forgot, like all of us, I think that we got distracted. Congratulations to everybody that the city of Warner Robins and the grants that were given out tonight. On a good note, that was awesome for the city of Warner Robins to be a part of you and what you're doing in our community, and you keep on keeping on. And we hope that you're recognized with the finance and you keep helping our citizens of Warner Robins. I think little baby was taken, you probably don't know this, in Warner Robins, but within 30 minutes, they tracked down that person that took that baby, and that baby was recovered and returned back home because of flock cameras.
In our real-time crime lab.
Crime lab, and all the technology that we used when that crime was reported and committed, that baby returned home within 30 minutes. I'm for that all day long. And if you own a cell phone, you're being tracked. Just being honest with you.
But not by us, not us, not us.
You're being tracked by somebody, I promise you.
All right, well, thank you. At this time, the next part of our agenda is executive session to discuss personnel, and we need that in the form of a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn to executive session for personnel.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Lawrenson, seconded by Councilman Bibb. All in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Motion carries. We are now exiting for executive session. It's possible that an action will take place following our executive session, but it is not guaranteed. You're welcome to sit here and wait for us to come back, but if not, we will see your smiling faces at our demolition tomorrow or at our council meeting, the first one in March. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we will see you soon. Thank you.
Hi, Stephen.
All right, we're back from executive session. May I have a motion? Motion by Councilman Lawrenson, seconded by Councilman Curtis. All in favor, please state aye and raise your hand. Aye. Motion carries. Now we have reached the end of our meeting. There are no actions following executive session, and at this point, we are now adjourned. You all have a great evening, and see you later. Don't forget your ties. You got to wear a black suit, black tie.